Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks, everyone, for joining me on this webinar. And I know everyone has busy schedules. So it's not lost on me that you've taken time out in order to get this information. So I want to say welcome to three huge mistakes that single moms make that cause their children to fail. And I know that's not what we want. We don't want our children to fail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a little bit about some of the things that I have witnessed, I've noticed, and I've also experienced. And I have some solutions. So don't despair. Now, during this session, we're going to talk about the factors that may stump your child's success. And we're also going to identify, I have a solution for you ladies, so don't fear. It's going to help to alleviate some of the turmoil, the chaos, and all of the frazzleness, if that's a word, of being a busy professional single mom. Let me introduce myself officially. My name is Sia Knight, and I am the College Savvy Coach. And what that means is that I help busy moms and primarily single moms position their children for top tier college admission. What I like to do is I like to give parents, I like to give moms information, advice, and insight on ways to coach their children so that their children are ready for the college admissions process. And often I work with families starting when their children are in middle school and early high school. Now, I work with juniors and seniors as well, but that's a whole different positioning. That's a whole different ball of wax. So that's who I am and that's what I do. And let me talk a little bit about my journey as a single mom. I am the mother of two wonderful kids. They're the best kids on the planet, Vaughn and Kendall. And I started to see that there were common themes that I shared with other busy, overwhelmed single moms. And what I decided to do, and what I've been doing, is I've been pulling elements from being a single mom, being overwhelmed, being busy, and helping women who are in that situation kind of get their children coached up to where they need to be for this top tier college admissions process. Now, up there she is. That's my mommy. Being a single mom, which I never, by the way, thought I would ever be in that situation, which most of us don't. But once I found myself here, I realized that I had an excellent role model. My mother is a single mom, and as I look back at some of the challenges and also some of the struggles that she had to go through that I never had to endure. Now, one thing that I knew, two things when it came to college. I knew, number one, that I was going because she wasn't playing, okay? And then the second thing I knew was that my mother could not give me the information, the insight, or she couldn't inform me about her experience because she had not gone to college herself. But I knew that she would give me exactly what she could, despite the fact that she was drowning in day to day life. We didn't have a lot of money. She actually had a physical disability. So there was a lot going on. But let me tell you something, ladies. the truth is, all single moms feel like they're drowning. And we know there's a lot going on because life is just really designed that way in the 21st century. And so I wanted to kind of take the time to craft something, to develop something so that we as moms, as single moms, don't have to be alone. We need to kind of get together in community to help move our children forward. Now, I have been fortunate to accomplish a great deal. Now, as I mentioned, I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. My mother was very, very proud. I was proud. Consequently, I was the person who was really always doing things right. I did, and I graduated, and then I got married. That was the right thing to do. And then I had the kid, that was the right thing to do. And then I had the other kid, that was the right thing to do. And along the way, I picked up 3 degrees, and allegedly that was the right thing to do. But I will share this, and this is something I've not really heard a lot of moms voice out loud. I've been fortunate to accomplish a great deal, but those are my babies. I don't want my kids to be like me. I don't want my kids to be on the hamster wheel that I am on. I don't want them to participate in the rat race that I experience on a daily basis. But what I do want is that I want them to have more. I want them to be more. I want them to experience more than I have. So it's a balance, right? We want our kids to ascend further, to climb higher. And how do you like this picture of the 2 people on the mountain, right? In fact, I can tell that they're really not my kids because they are getting along while they're on the mountain. I actually would be a little scared to have both of my children on the mountain because there'll be a fight that happens and then there's tragedy. But anyway, I digress. So I want my children to really, they're headed for the moon and beyond. And in an effort to get them there, I realized that, there's some things that I'm doing that are not moving them forward. It's not helping them along. In fact, if I'm being honest, there's some things that I'm doing that are actually sabotaging my children's success. And so it's hard. It's hard because mom guilt is real, right, guys? We say we want our children to soar and to excel, and we want them to fly high. However, I have to be honest, there are some things that we do that actually inadvertently clip their wings. So let's get to it. Let's get on it. I'm going to talk about 3 huge mistakes that single moms make that cause their children to fail. Cause their children to fail. Now, this isn't an exercise in trying to make busy moms feel bad about ourselves. That we do that enough on our own. Thank you very much. But I do want to recognize and acknowledge some of the things that we've done and that we continue to do. And then again, let's try to fix it. That's the bottom line. Don't wallow in what's wrong. Let's come up with a solution. The first mistake, poor planning. Now, I have been there. I'm going to have to admit on more than one occasion. I wait till the last minute sometimes. How many, is anyone here with me? I'm so busy that I can't put together a comprehensive plan for anything, let alone for the college admissions process. So when I'm talking about a comprehensive plan, a comprehensive strategy, I'm not just talking about when the students get to be in the 12th grade. I mean, are we as single moms taking a look at what our 7th graders, our 8th graders, things that we need to know, things that we need to see in order for them to be prepared for the next grade, the next level, the next milestone. So poor planning, that's one of the things that we do. Huge mistake. The next mistake we make, peer-based positioning. Peer-based positioning. That's just a fancy word to say we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? We're looking over our shoulders, especially in some communities more than others. There's a lot of conversation about, oh, what is your child doing? Oh, they're playing racquetball and ballet. Okay, thank you. And then the next day, all right, I'm going to sign up Skippy for racquetball and also ballet. As a male ballet dancer, he's going to have a better chance to get a scholarship. So often we have what I termed comparison fatigue. We are looking around in not a healthy way, but we're looking around at the things that people are putting out to us, and we are comparing ourselves to this this picture, this vision, right? And that's no good. And the third problem, the third mistake that we're making as single moms who are busy, overwhelmed, high achieving, okay? The third thing that we're doing, the third problem is pride-based privacy. What in the heck are you talking about, Sia? Glad you asked. Pride-based privacy. As single moms, we are known for kind of taking care of it ourselves. We've got this. We're independent. We are successful. We are, we know how to research a problem, research an issue. So often we end up isolated. And the truth is that we need support. We need support. In an era where many single moms live away from family and don't have time to make those deep connections with neighbors, we're often on our own. And our children are suffering because of it. There's some information that we could receive that could help our children. Sometimes there are programs that are available. Sometimes there are opportunities. But because we're not asking for help, or we're not in a situation where we share authentically, so I'm not talking about that peer-based stuff from number 2. I'm talking about making authentic connections. Because we don't do that, our children are suffering. But guess what, guys? Ladies, I have an answer for you. Because I didn't want to just bring you on this webinar, get you all depressed, and then send you out into the world. No, that's not my style. I don't roll like that. So let's talk about a solution. I am presenting the Single Mom's Solution. And this is a community-based, remember I told you we need authentic connections. It's a community-based experience that helps single moms position their children for success in a comprehensive and systematic way. How many of you all are tired of piecing things together? How many of you are tired of waiting to the last minute, scrambling, and having to kind of jigsaw something? Okay, me too. Me too. So during this program, we're going to tackle the subjects that will help our children, and we're going to tackle them in a systematic way. And I am going to coach you on how to coach your children in 4 different areas. So we're going to talk about academic performance. We're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about advocacy. And we're going to talk about some other things. And what I am going to deliver to you, ladies, is I'm going to deliver to you a way to coach and encourage and connect with your children so that you're not relying on kind of winging it the way we do as single moms. Now, what's included? What's included? Now, we are going to have training modules. There are going to be 4 of those weekly training modules. There's going to be, there will be 4 live group coaching calls. You all will get on the line with me, and I'll facilitate the conversation based on the last training module. We'll have recordings and resources. And then, this is great. There's going to be a private Facebook group in which you can share your frustrations, your hopes, your questions in a safe space. One of the reasons why we do all of that, we have those things that we keep to ourselves in private, is because we don't feel safe in sharing with other moms. We fear judgment. We fear some type of, we fear that someone's going to kind of judge us. And the goal of this program is to take that away. Also included is a 1-year membership to the College Savvy membership site. And the College Savvy membership site, that's where all of the resources will be housed. That's where the training modules will be deposited every week. That's where it's going to be our home base. And even though this is a 4-week program, you're going to get access to those materials for 1 full year. And also, we're going to include some action guides and weekly homework assignments, because just like our students, we want to make sure that we are practicing kind of what we've learned. And each week, there's going to be an area of focus in which you work on with your child. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Does this look like something that's helpful? Does this look like something that can move your family forward in a systematic way? Now, if the answer is yes, the question is, what's the value that you would put on this type of program that takes away the stress, the worry, the guesswork out of the equation of preparing your child for the next level? Let's take a look. So if you would kind of price these things out individually, the modules, the coaching calls, the membership site, which is the retail price of that is $57 a month, the action guides, the private Facebook group, which is actually priceless. There's nothing like having a group of people who share your same concern, challenges, questions. There's nothing like that. The total value of this solution, $1,597, which really, I think it's really reasonable to help your family move forward. However, you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that. We're not going to do that. Today we're not going to go for, and I'm not going to ask you to invest what this is really worth. I am going to offer a special price since you are here and you've stayed with me on the webinar. Instead of $1,597 for this experience, including the 1 year with the membership site, the special price is $597. So that's $1,000 off. Now I don't know what else I could do for you. $1,000 off. Now you could do a full pay, or you can pay $100 a month for 6 months. It's up to you. Now, I will say, if you choose the full pay option, you will receive a complimentary 1-hour college action planning session. And this is my 1-hour session where I get on the phone or on Skype with the parent and the student, and we move through the 5 factors that set students apart in the college admissions process. I take a snapshot through this conversation of where the student is. You all talk to me about where the student wants to go, and then I make recommendations on how to bridge the gap. So that in and of itself, it's an awesome experience. But if you pay full pay for this program, $197, you'll get it for free, complimentary. Now, what are some of the objections that you may have? Sia, I don't have time for this. You just finished telling me how busy I am. Now I'm going to commit to 4 weeks of my life dedicated to this, and I would say to you, listen, the calls, if you can't be on the calls live, they'll be recorded. Okay. What about, I can figure this out by myself. Okay, my question to you is, how's that going for you? There are a lot of things we can do for ourselves, but do you have the time and the will to figure all of this stuff out? And the last objection could be, I don't have the money for this. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the cost of not taking action. When it all boils down to the wasted resources that you'll go through because you are not part of this community. So wasted application fees. When I sit down with families and we talk about what schools to think about, what factors to consider, that eliminates a whole lot of just mess, really. And instead of applying for 7 schools at $50 a pop, you might get your list down to a good 4 schools. How much money are you going to waste on unnecessarily college trips? Again, I'm going to teach you on how to figure out the best way to go about this college process. Wasted time researching the wrong things. How many of us have sat in front of Google and then it comes back, we press enter, we have 4 million hits on what we've researched? That's not helpful because that's not really narrowing anything down for us. And then the last cost is that the overwhelm. One more thing on your plate. Let's take this piece and let's walk through this together. Now, when you take the time, when you take the initiative to invest in yourself and your family, guess what? You're securing your children's future. So you think about my mother, her hopes, her dreams for me, and the hopes and dreams I have for my children. I want to make sure that I'm able to help them along in the most efficient and the most um, effective way possible. And for you ladies, that solution is the single mom's solution. So, what I want you to do now that the webinar is over, in fact, what you can do this in another tab if you want to while I finish kind of some closing comments, but the website in order to get started with this. And this is not going to be a program where I have 500 people in this. We're going to limit it a great deal because I want to make sure that we have all of our questions answered. I want to make sure that we develop a sense of community. Okay, so you can go to bit.ly/single mom full pay. And that's the full pay option. Okay, or you could go to bit.ly/single mom monthly. And that's the solution when you're paying $100 a month for 6 months. But don't forget, you'll have access to the materials for a full year. So, with that being said, I appreciate once again you ladies hanging out with me, listening to me as I kind of voice some of my struggles, my frustrations, because I am you. We're all in this together, and I would be honored if you will allow me to walk with you in order to make sure that your family is on its way collectively to success. So if you have any questions, you can contact me at siaknight@collegesavvycoach.com or through my website, collegesavvycoach.com. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And until next time, guys, stay savvy.